Hey everybody, it's Alma with the Cat's Pajamas, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to sculpt these flowers on this card. For this card, we're going to use this cut-ups die. It actually cuts 5 different designs from one die. A cat, a vase, a bird, and a flower pot, as well as this frame. You get the die in one piece like this, and you can actually snap apart each of the separate dies if you wish, or keep them together. For this project, we're going to be using 2 of the pieces, the window frame and this flower pot. I'm going to take this clear stamp and just stamp the word hello right on the flower pot. That's where the beauty of these clear stamps comes in. I can just ink it and position it on this teeny tiny flower pot and get a perfect stamp every time. This particular stamp comes from our Warm and Fuzzy set, and it's just the part that says hello from the sentiment that says just saying hello. So now we're going to set that aside. Also for this card, we're going to be using our Lacy Floral Doily die. Not only does this die cut a doily, but it also cuts 5 different sizes of flowers. And to save a wee bit of time, I've cut one in advance. This is a pretty intricate die. It has flowers that go all the way to the center. So because it's such an intricate die, sometimes the older machines might have a harder time cutting in one pass. So you may need to put them through the machine several times or with a shim. When it comes out, you can just poke the flowers right out. See how quick that is? Oh, one more. See, now a pretty lacy doily that you can use, and also flowers. For this project, we're just going to be using the flowers, so I'm going to set the doily aside. We're also going to be using a foam block. And this petal roller, you usually use this side for rolling flowers. On the other side is this ball tip, and that's what we're going to be using for this project. Simply take one of the flowers and the ball tip and roll it in a circular motion over the flower. Once the flower starts to cup up, you can turn it over and poke it with the other side of the petal roller. This gives it a nice soft look and a nice crumpled flowery look. And we're going to continue to do that with the rest of the flowers, cupping and poking. A lot of our cut-ups dies you can do flower sculpting with. You get really, really great looks just by incorporating one simple technique. And I like to call our particular technique the TCP technique. Twist, cup, and poke. This particular flower only needs to be cupped and poked. When I first started doing flower sculpting, I used to use punches. And as I was doing them, I realized that I spent a lot of time punching. My thumbs would get sore, or the punches would break, or I would need a lot of punches to get a project done, and that got kind of expensive. So go figure, I stopped doing projects like this. And then I took a class from my local stamp store, mainly stamping, with a really, really wonderful teacher, and she got me excited about doing flower sculpting again. I'd been wanting to do doily dies for the longest time, but I hated all the little bits and pieces that came out and that they weren't of any use. And then inspiration hit. I knew that this was the perfect way to get a doily die and get a whole bunch of different sizes of flowers just in one pass that I could use to do flower sculpting like this. So I'm going to finish doing the rest of these flowers. Alright, so all the flowers are done. Let's assemble the card. Take my handy glue stick. Attach the base of the card, or attach this white layer to the base of the card. Then this pretty striped paper. I like the stripe because it reminds me of shingles. Then I put some foam tape on the back of the window and just attach it to a little square of pattern paper. I think it gives that little bit of dimension when it's popped up. Now I'm going to attach this square of paper to the front of the card. And then this is just a little strip of paper that I've run through the Sizzix machine with an embossing folder. And then I put 2 layers of the foam tape on the back because I want it to stand up even further above the window to give it more dimension. And then I've cut a piece of grass using our grass die. I think I'm going to use, that's cute. I think I'll use this side instead. And attach it to the bottom. And then I'll put a little bit of foam tape on the back of that flower pot. I want to have everything in place before I start putting the flowers on. That way I can judge better where to put the flowers. And I'll pick what I think is the cutest flower. A little foam tape on the back of it. Yes, the hardest part of this card is taking off the back of the tape. Then I'm going to doodle a little stem and a leaf just to tie the whole thing together. See, it's not perfect. Then I'm going to color in with a little Copic marker. Here we go. I think that stem really ties that flower in so it's not floating on top. And now we're ready to place the flowers. We have a little bit of white glue and some tweezers, and we're just going to take the flowers and dip them in the glue and start placing them. I'm just going to tuck some here and there. I usually start with the biggest flowers first. Tucking them on top of the flower box and in front of the flower box. And then I just kind of fill in. There's no rhyme or reason to where I place these, but it really helps to have all these different size flowers and the different looks of the flowers. And just think, it was just so easy. I didn't have to buy 3 different punches. It all came from one pass through the die cut machine. Let's see, right there. See how quickly this is coming together? I mean, really, the longest part was just the cupping of the flowers, and that went pretty fast. And we're almost done here. Just a couple more. And I like to use all different sizes of the flowers, even this little teeny tiny one. I really think that it adds so much to have the different sizes of the flowers. Just a couple more. See, we didn't need to use all the flowers. I can use the rest of the flowers for another project. Or maybe make another card. It was that easy. I think I'm done. Looks pretty cute. Now I'm going to use this dimensional paint to add some centers. The trick to using this dimensional paint is to squeeze a bit out on a piece of paper, keeping pressure on the bottle and not allowing any air bubbles back into the bottle. That way you keep a nice even flow and control over the paint that goes out onto your flowers. Now I want that big flower to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to put a nice size rhinestone right in the center. Now I want to put a little finishing touch, this khaki bow, and I'll put that right underneath the flower. On my original card I had it off to the side. I can't decide which place I like it better. And of course I've touched the paint, so now I'm going to have to fix that, which is okay, it happens. And I think we're done. Once this dries, I can send it off to somebody I want to say hello to. I think it's a really, really cute card. I hope you do too. I hope you try flower sculpting the TCP way, now that you know how easy it is. Thanks for joining me.